What's up, guys? Welcome back. You're probably wondering what I've got on my arm here. It's a brace. Unfortunately, I tore my bicep a few weeks ago. I'd have surgery, so now I've got this brace on for a while. Downside is I won't be able to shoot, not for a bit yet. Upside is recovery's going well, and I want to share some updates with you guys. Scopes are now back in stock. Those of you that have been asking, head on over to our website, cyberarchery.com, to check that out. But I'll start by going over some of the mechanical updates. A lot of you have also asked, is there a way to fit a lens or to house a lens in here for magnification? We now have a lens retainer where you can pop a lens into place. It'll accept a 1.35 inch or a 35 millimeter lens. And then there's a little ring here that threads down to tension it in place. Then you can pop that in right behind the pin cartridge. Then the light baffle goes in there and secures everything into place. Second mechanical update, HHA mounts are now officially in stock. I know this was a big one. I was prototyping one last video. Now we officially have the machine parts, and that's in stock. And then another big mechanical update, 10 thou and 19 thou pins are now also available. We still have the 15 thou if you're interested in that, but I'll work on updating the website so you can select between the 10, 15, or 19 thou pins. And that's about it for the mechanical updates. I want to shift gears and talk about the phone app. I know in the last video I also talked about phone app, but now in the Android app Play Store and the iOS App Store, the CyberShot app is now officially available. So if you got a scope, go ahead and head over to the Play Store or the App Store and download CyberShot. But I've got my screen sharing going on here, so I'll show you guys what's new. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the scope on and enable the wireless feature. All right, and then on the app side, I'm going to scan and connect to my device. And once connected, I'm going to go into the CyberScope controls. What's new here is this top right corner. We now have a folder in there. Some of you already saw this coming, but you now have the ability to save profiles and load them. So I'll kind of demo that real quick. Let's say I want my bubble brightness pretty dim, and then I'll turn my fiber up, maxed out. I want my ring background to be white, and I'll max that out. Then I'll leave everything as is, and I'll save this as maybe 5 spot. Okay, and then I want to have some changes for maybe a Vegas face. So I'll max out my bubble brightness now. I'll dim down the fibers a bit. I'll change my ring background to a red color. Then I want to save this as Vegas. Okay, now when you connect to your scope, you can go to that top right folder option and load your profiles. So I'm going to go load profile and load my 5 spot one. You'll see that shifts over and then loads that on the screen. And then I'll click load again and load my Vegas one, and it'll shift over to the Vegas setting. So that's one of the new features on the app side. With that, I'm gonna kind of jump over to the scope side. There's also a new firmware available. I believe it's 1.2.2. So those of you, when you connect, if you're out of date, it'll let you know so you can update. If not, it'll tell you that you're up to date. So what's new in there? One is the Bluetooth status indicator. So now when you do that 3-button sequence to enable wireless, you get this blue ring that flashes real quick in a circle. That's just good feedback to let you know that you did the button sequence correctly. 2, battery status now when you power up is a lot more accurate, and when you power down is also a lot more accurate. 3, it's a lot more robust. There's been a lot of stability improvements, a lot of optimizations done on the firmware side. Let's see, the 4th thing is previously when you made changes on the app, on the phone here, it updates the setting on the scope. Now, if you make changes on the scope side, it'll also reflect on the phone side. So I'm gonna set my phone down. You can see if I do the quick brightness changes, it's changing my fiber glow. And I want to increase that. Okay, it'll change that. Or if I go and press and hold the middle button to go through the configuration sequence, it'll start off with the bubble, and I'm gonna make that dimmer. Then pin tip, I'm gonna turn that off. And I go to the next one, max out fiber glow, and then I'll go to the ring background. It starts on red. I'll go to green, blue, orange, yellow. I'm doing this all on the scope, and it's updating on the phone side. It's just nice to have both kind of be symmetrical. When you update the phone, it updates the scope. And when you update the scope side, it also updates the phone side. But those are kind of the main big changes. Lots of you guys have been, providing feedback, asking questions, lots of things. I appreciate all that. I love hearing from you. I want to say thank you. These are just the main changes I wanted to share with you guys, and I'm doing everything I can to make this awesome archery scope. I appreciate all of you. Thank you, and have a great night.